Kevin the Cube is back in Fortnite Season 6 update, adding new locations, a hated loot pool change, and secret Easter eggs starting with Cube Island. So Kevin has revealed himself once again, lifting Loot Lake's house into the sky. Donald Mustard has also weighed in, sharing his first design for the floating island from back in the day. In 2018, this was the build-up to the butterfly event, but this time it's different. Kevin isn't bouncy anymore, so you can't use him to boost yourself, but still it's worth going here when you can. The vortex makes rotating around Loot Lake way easier, especially with that free glider redeploy. And that's not the only reason it dropped here. The time machine has vanished from Pleasant Park along with Agent Jones's truck, but don't worry, it has reappeared over at Loot Lake with a new quest log from Sloan. But I'm more interested in how Fortnite has blown our minds with the latest addition to the game. We all expected OG weapons to come back, only for a rift encounter to take us by surprise. When you open the box, it drops the grapple glove. Probably the last thing you'd expect to find in Chapter 1, although it is one of the most useful items of Fortnite, so Epic thought it was worth breaking our immersion, even if it's a super controversial decision. Not only will you find this in a rift encounter, but it also has a chance of appearing in a supply drop. So let me know down in the comments if you think this was a mistake or not. If you prefer to stick to OG items, there's a trick that'll send you flying higher than a grapple glove. It's all thanks to the Porta Fortress, which is one of the latest additions this week. It's a massive version of the Porta Fort, but this time it has bouncers on the side, making this the only way to get them in the entire game. Now that they're available, you can place down a launch pad and combo it to achieve the super launch pad trick. It's insane! And the mobility continues with shockwave grenades. These have replaced impulses, which is an incredible change for everyone. It'll help you break through walls, or if you play zero builds, you can use it to jump off mountains or get to high ground. Hopefully these stay for the rest of the season. Now you're probably wondering what happens at the end of Fortnite OG. Well, your answer is secretly lying at Dusty Depot. Today they updated the POI with a brand new crane, which is in the middle of constructing, you guessed it, the rocket. We're only at Season 6, and the build-up to another black hole event is already underway. I am so excited. The change you don't have to wait for is the arrival of Fortnite's next vehicle, Driftboards. They're back after 4 years and feel just as refreshing as they did in Chapter 1. They're incredible for all kinds of purposes like trick-shotting, grappling up mountains, or my personal favorite, hoverboarding over Loot Lake with ease. Fortnite has also secretly updated Risky Reels with a strange feature. For the first time in Battle Royale history, the movie screen is now fully breakable. Whether you pickaxe it, shoot it, or drive into it, this thing completely breaks, which is kind of incredible to look at. I have never seen Risky without a screen before. And if you paid attention to the ATKs this season, you might have noticed their fuel gauge never worked. It was a pretty weird thing to add, so now that quad crashes are back, we assumed this wouldn't need fuel either. Except they totally run out of gas, so don't go overboard on the boost. Not to mention, it is just like the quad crasher from Chapter 3, which couldn't fly. Kinda sucks because we all have memories of soaring across the OG map on these things, but I guess Epic don't want us to anymore. And that's not the only item to be added in today's update. The double barrel shotgun is here, returning to its former glory. Sadly, it's replaced the heavy shotgun, but I heavily recommend pairing it with a grappler for one of the most insane combos in the OG season. And for anyone who watched the gameplay trailer, you probably noticed the smartest play I've ever seen. It's honestly genius. Now that Klinger's in the game, I want to try this for myself, but let's just say it's much harder than it looks. I got a tip though, if you get hit by a Klinger, you can simply emote and it'll fall right off of you. It doesn't mean you should ignore the power of the slide kick. Sure, the opportunity to pull off a Klinger combo isn't there, but they're still super helpful. Slide kicking is something most of us forgot about, yet this time it's different because we have boogie bombs to help us, making the kick more viable than ever. If you want to protect yourself from the strategy, I recommend picking up the bush item. Been extremely helpful this season because of the cover it provides, not to mention saving you from a sniper bullet to the face. Except, Fortnite secretly updated bushes to block something even more annoying, the boogie bombs. No matter what you do, it's impossible to boogie someone who has a bush equipped, which makes it amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I love these secret additions to super old items, like Rex's back bling. It's one of the sought after legendary back blings. This was loved back in the day for matching Rex's head, so it looks like he has a small dinosaur clinging to the back of him. Well, this week, the item shop updated with a new set of outfits, Bright Hunter and Sora. If you own Rex's scaly back bling, it'll match perfectly with Sora, so it's basically the 2-for-1 deal. Just like this Battle Pass outfit. We're only a week into the OG season, but the pass has a maximum of 50 tiers, so tons of players are already grinding their way to the bonus styles. If you've reached level 58, you can earn Magmatic Renegade links, but that's not all you get for spending your stars on her. Once unlocked, she'll come with the OG Homecoming loading screen. They don't tell you how to get this, it's just a fun surprise. surprise. And thanks to the latest update, we also have an insane amount of new items to play around with. The heavy assault rifle has secretly joined the loot pool, giving you a new way to shoot enemies from a distance, or just pick them off while they're gliding. It's replaced the burst assault rifle, which a ton of players are super happy about. Then, because this is Season 6 after all, remote explosives have been swapped out for a new demolition item, dynamite. If you want to continue that Wild West vibe, the 6-shooter is here to fulfill your needs, but sadly, we don't have Calamity or Deadfire to wield them. Zero build players are gonna be kinda disappointed to hear that smoke grenades are gone, and for regular BR users, you just earn an exclusive item, Chiller Traps. Enjoy these while you can, because next week is Season 7 where everyone is gonna be freezing cold. Now sadly, there's an item which just didn't make it, a weapon that has been teased time and time again and even posted on Fortnite's own TikTok, the guided missile launcher. This first dropped in the original Season 5, so we expected it from day one, only for nothing to happen. We crossed our fingers hoping it would finally drop in today's update, but as you know, it's completely missing. So guys, I think the guided missile is never coming back. And that's not the only things to be removed with today's new update, because there's also a bunch of stuff missing from the original Season 6. If you played back then, you'll probably remember Kevin's corruption zones from when he rolled around the map. Unfortunately, these aren't here in Fortnite OG, so it's looking like this is a completely different timeline. You can also find evidence of this at Fatal Fields, because the iconic hut watch has never happened. Since Kevin never crushed it in Season 5, it won't be getting slowly rebuilt throughout the rest of the season. It's pretty sad, but it's still not as bad as the entire castle that Epic forgot from Haunted Hills. It's a pretty forgotten change from 2018, but it made Haunted so much better to land at. And if you drop there and can't find enough loot, at least you could easily rotate with the rifts around the map. A lot of players thought these were exclusive to Zero Build, but it turns out that's actually not the case. The cliffs along the coast all have rifts which are permanent, staying even after a player uses them, which is great for mobility. In Zero Build, there's even more scattered around the map, like the center mountains and in a basement at Salty. When a player uses these, it looks like they've disappeared, but they are actually unlimited and just disappear from view, so make sure you learn the locations because they stay for the entire match. But if you're rotating to Wailing Woods expecting to see the cabins there, you'll be disappointed to hear that they're not back. Season 6 originally brought some much needed changes to this POI, adding several houses around the forest as well as a giant science lab underneath the maze. There were also these tiny shacks as a reference to the Three Little Pigs. They randomly appeared during 2018, and around the map you can find 3-player built huts made out of wood, brick, and metal. They had a bunch of loot, but sadly, you cannot find them on this island. One thing you can discover is a bunch of upcoming skins that were recently revealed. Epic sent out another survey asking players which concept they liked the most, meaning we got an early look at 40 outfits. A bunch of them have themed around fruit and veggies, so maybe we'll get a closer look at the food reality from the comics. There's also a random skin wearing the key art from Vibin, which made a lot of players confused until you realize it's just a loading screen. So hopefully this means we'll be able to equip and display them from our lockers soon. Not the only thing Epic recently teased, because in questions about Fortnite mares, there was one thing they mentioned that was never added. There were supposed to be zombie boards you could visit, which sound like a Halloween version of the job board, and I have no idea why they scrapped this. It also doesn't exactly matter when Fortnite has the most players it's ever had right now. Just a couple days ago, Epic announced they had broken the all-time record for players in a single day. 44.7 million people logged on last weekend, and just so you understand, that's more than any live event, season launch, or any day during 2018. Hope you guys enjoyed those secrets in Fortnite OG Season 6. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.